Okay, hi guys, how are we doing? In today's video, it's going to be very beginner friendly. It's going to be covering a lot of basic things because I thought why not just make sure that the foundation is good for a beginner in this industry. So yeah, and as you can see, it's establishing authority in your market. Now, this is something that all brands obviously want to do. It's a tough one. There's a million ways to do it, but there are some basic things that you can do. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So, to kind of break it down, what does that really mean? What does authority mean? So, as you can see here, you showcase value to your audience, and if you keep doing this, in turn, it builds trust, and from there, that trust turns to authority, where they look up to you as a leading figure in your market, or they look to you as opposed to other people. So that's all good saying that, but at the end of the day, how would you actually do this? So I've put together a couple of ideas and let's see. So one that I found is comparison graphs. So a lot of brands do this, but it's such a good way, for example, in your advertorials and your websites to showcase your advantages compared to your competitors and what you provide that they don't. For example, if we look at this retinol brand, as you can see on the left hand side, it's what the regular market does, topical retinol, and it shows three disadvantages, whilst on their side, it shows what they have. And with each disadvantage, it shows their advantage. And again, it's a great way, it's a compact form, and it's very easy to see, easy to digest, and it makes them different to what other people usually see in that area. Now, the second thing is to leverage your competitors' hard work. So, that sounds like an interesting thing. And what that means is that your competitors, especially the ones that are leading the market, they know what they're doing. They've put in the months, the years, they know what doesn't work, they know what does work. So, given that, you might as well use that to your advantage so you don't have to make the same mistakes as they do. So, these are three examples. For example, social media layouts. For example, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, look at what they're posting. For example, is it mainly videos? Is it mainly statics? Are they following trends, UGC, stuff like that? And also break it down. So go onto their post, look at what's getting the most likes, what's getting the most interaction, for example, comments from the audience, and go from there. Because at the end of the day, if it's working for them, if you implement that same type of content and do it consistently, it's going to work for you. Secondly, would be website structure. So as I said before, there's a million ways of doing things. So with websites, usually the ones that are working, they all follow basic principles that they all have in common. So in your market, look at the websites that are converting, look at their structure. For example, when you're checking out, how they've structured the checkout page, where they put upsells, how many clicks has it taken to get from the product page to the checkout page. Look at banners if they're using, for example, Black Friday banners right now, they're color matching, so stuff like that, and see if it's working for them. It'll work for you. Thirdly, will be creatives. So in terms of the ad space, a great one that everyone probably knows is something called Facebook Ads Library. So in Facebook, you can go onto their website, which is called Ads Library, and it shows all the ads that companies that are advertising on Facebook are doing right now. So you can go into your competitor's Facebook page on Ads Library, and you can scroll from what they're currently putting out all the way back to what they've done in previous years. And what's also good is you can see what ads they've not running anymore and the ones that they are. So a good one is to always go back to the ones that are the older ads, but they're still running them, because what that means is that they're doing pretty well. Obviously, if they weren't, they'd be turning them off. So something like that, it's always good to do. Now, remember, your goal is to be at the top of your prospects list. Now, what on earth does that mean? So your prospect, or when they're shopping around, if the ones that are doing their research, they're looking at all these different brands and they're comparing them all, right? So, you have all these different brands, A, B, C, D, and what you need to be doing is be trying to get into that number one spot. So you need to be differentiating yourself against all of these other people right here in order to push you to the main, the number one thing that they want to buy from. So, with that being said, how would you do that? So, you can do that by, as I did above, stacking your benefits against differences, and doing this consistently, showing how you're different from everyone else, whether that's ingredients, your certification, stuff like that, and doing that consistently with your content, with your ads, eventually leads with a compound effect to actual results. Now, thirdly, is providing an appeal to authority. So a good example I want to use here is a company called Outrin. So very quickly, Live On are a company that have created this certain type of vitamin, or the certain type of supplement. Now they've allowed Outrin to sell that into Europe. So what Outrin has now is a certain type of certification, because this isn't a normal type of, for example, here vitamin C. It's something called lipospheric vitamin C. So it's different from what the market usually provides, and this, as you can see here, is a lipospheric certification. So it's something that your competitors will not have. It's something, now bear in mind, they've had to pay for it. Obviously, cost goes into R&D, cost goes into leasing this from this company right here. They're being a distributor. But what that does is puts you head above the rest, because you actually have something that differentiates you in terms of literal value, and again, you can leverage this in marketing. So there, with that being said, where does the ROI come from in this? So as I said before, you invest in this certification, however much that is, that will increase your perceived value, not only with psychology, because obviously you're different from everyone else, but in terms of actual real results, because with this lipospheric stuff, you can actually get results that normal vitamin C will not be able to. And with that, you get a higher monthly recurring revenue, whether that be through all your different sources. So, for example, Amazon, your web store, whatever it may be, because when you're doing this and you have this have this bit of authority with your unique facet of your product, that means that you're going to be drawing more attention to you rather than other brands, which is going to drive more traffic to your site. And yeah, so it's kind of a recurring mechanism. Another one is as seen in kind of things. Now again, this is another upfront cost, but it's more PR. So if you have, for example, as seen in New York Times, Vogue, stuff like that, evidently it's going to increase your social status. But another one that people don't talk about is it provides leverage for doing outreach to retailers. For example, you can say, okay, I'm here from this company. We've been featured in newspapers such as New York Times, Vogue. We're known publicly, we're liked by the public. This is why I think that you should stock us as opposed to brands B and C. So, that's a good thing to consider also. And again, so a lot of this stuff here, as I've mentioned, like it's a lot of just social proof. It's a lot of, and it's just doing the right thing consistently, whether that be structuring your website, your content, and at the end of it is knowing human psychology, knowing what works and what doesn't, what people respond to and what they don't. So the last thing, kind of to draw it and circle it back, is the content. Now, content, obviously, you're always trying to put it out. There's going to be a big list of ideas, and if it runs down, here's some ideas. So for Reels, a good one to do is testimonials. So if you have customers that are using your product and you're doing an offer, for example, take 50% off if you provide a testimonial for us, then obviously you can recycle that content and put it into your Reels, because your prospects are seeing that on your Reels. They're going to be like, damn, okay, people genuinely enjoy this, and it's a trust thing. So, and you can use that in your ads, you can use that in whatever type of style content you're putting out on your other social media sources, and it's just so good to do. The second thing is to utilize reviews. So, for example, here, if you have a study like 85% experience a change in 2 weeks, then you can use that for so many types of content formats, as well as ads. So that's something to consider also. And yeah, it's another way of putting out content and connecting with your viewers. And thirdly, do I even have to say this? UGC is killer right now. You're going to see it in ads. You're going to see it in content, whether that be for certain supplements, it's going to be how-tos, recipes, day-to-day, day in their life kind of stuff. So there's always one. But I think the tricky one here is to find the right type of creator and really honing into what you want to find in that person to represent your brand. So I might make a video on that, finding the right UGC creator and, for a long-term relationship. But yeah, again, it's just such worth saying, if I haven't already. So yeah, so that's really it. It's a pretty bare bones video, and it's simplicity scales. It's like that old phrase. So I might as well have said stuff like this just in case. And again, it's something like here you might have not considered before. So I hope it's helped, that you found some value out of it. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Goodbye. See you later.